are part of Palestine's Christian community, Gaza's Christian community. A lot of people in the West were shocked to hear there were Christians in Gaza.
Yeah.
I spoke to Munther Isaac on this show a few weeks ago, who spoke about life in the occupied West Bank. He's from Bethlehem, for Palestinian Christians there. What has life been like all these years under siege, under blockade, for Palestinian Christians living in Gaza? Because the Israelis and their supporters in the West, they want to tell us that the threat to Palestine's Christians comes from Hamas, not from Israel. What is your response to that?
So even before the war, before more than 3% of the Christian population in Gaza were literally massacred by Israel, and what is the second biggest massacre against Middle Eastern Christians in the modern history, which is the bombing of St. Porphyrios Church on October 17th, where over 18 people were killed. Most of them are Papes that were killed at the bombing of the church. Even before all of that, the main obstacles that Christians in Gaza were facing is the Israeli occupation, the fact of the siege, because it impacted our economy like our Muslim brothers and sisters impacting our life. But even more than that, it even impacted our marriage and our demography. You know, we're a small community. We're less than 1,000 people in Gaza. We're allowed to only marry Christians. And there were almost no Christians to marry anymore, because we're just under the siege. No, you can't. And historically, we used to go to the West Bank. You can find a Christian woman, or if you're a woman, you can find a Christian man. But you can't do that. You can't go to Egypt because of the siege. You can't go anywhere. So that also we lost. But not only this, historically, from a religious point of view, the Christians of Palestine and the region used to go to Jerusalem every Easter, and they would go to Bethlehem every Christmas. We're not allowed to go through that as well. So all these difficulties, and by no means I'm saying that Hamas were angels and we were having, you know, full rights, whatever. But when it comes to Christian rights in Gaza from Hamas government, there were no really intervenants in that regard. However, the fact that they are an Islamist group have, to an extent, threatened our existence, because all of a sudden the public square in Gaza became more Islamized. And when you have a sort of Islamist or any illiberal government changing the public square to one religious group, it is by nature that the minority will feel more threatened than before.